hear me, Maureen? Check if you can't hear. Hmm? Mm-hmm. It says live. So I'm not gonna use my phone, sorry. I can't always use it with some information there. You can't hear me?
I guess this is where it's going from now.
Mm-hmm. But me can't hear. Hi, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm just address this. Okay, I'm talking, I'm talking, I'm talking. Can you hear me? You can hear me, Gospel? Okay. It's testing, so I kind of need to know um, if you're hearing me. Okay, good, you're hearing me. Gospel is hearing me. Can Tiara hear me? Can you hear me, Tiara? Can you hear me? Talk to me, Gospel, talk to me. What are you saying now? All right. So I guess I need to keep talking, so let me just keep talking. All right. Remember, huh? You can. Oh no, you're hearing me. I'm not hearing anybody else. Nope. 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 You did what Brother P told you to do, honey? Okay. Okay. But as to why I am not hearing anybody else, I don't know. Still keep talking, Mr. Wins? Keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Are you seeing both persons on? This is Catherine Mia? Okay. Hope we don't have a repeat of last week. Keep talking. You hearing me now? Okay. Let me know if you're not hearing me at all, so I can let him know. That's that's me. Still not hearing. Mm-hmm. Gospel, come check on this one, please. Just not here. This is your phone, isn't it? This is done. Uh-huh. Link onto that for now.
He's taking it. He's taking it.
No, you're not mental. You say this
Put
is
it
all.
back in.
You sure it's on? I don't see that. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, me here now. Me here now. What happened? Hey, hey, hey. Alright, gonna be starting going live in a few. And sorry for being late. So apologizing to the viewers for being late. I should be starting in a minute. Mm. Latoya Thomas, hola, hola, hola. Leonie Lewis, I see you there. Touch. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Helping Hands. All right, so this evening we have a very interesting conversation with my little guest, Tiara Cook. And some of you will remember her from a recent interview she did, and that's how I came across her first. So when I saw this interview with this young lady, I was so impressed with her. I was so very impressed with this interview and this young lady. She spoke so intelligently. And I was like, kudos to my Jamaicans, young Jamaicans. So brilliant, so talented. I know teachers put a lot of work in their students. And when I heard her speak, I just felt proud of her. Though it was an unfortunate situation, very bad situation, very unfortunate situation that we first saw her or heard about her. But somehow in that very difficult time, I thought, wow, she spoke so well under pressure and she was just shining through. So I spoke to a few persons from our ministry, Helping Hands, and said I would love for us to do something for this young lady. So Tiara, can you tell the audience just a little about yourself?
My name is Tiara Cook. I attend Morambe High School. In the future, I will pursue something in tourism and journalism. I am currently in sixth form, and
Let
in
me
sixth
find out
form,
because
my
I'm not sure.
specialization is law and history.
if you're hearing her, because I think I'm not hearing you, Tiara. Want to text me and let me know if you're hearing Tiara, because I'm not. Um, okay, Leonie Lewis is saying she's not hearing anything. Latoya Thomas is asking what we're talking about tonight. Tonight we're talking with Tiara, a beautiful and brilliant young lady that we saw recently on doing an interview in a news segment, and she spoke like a news reporter. I was listening to some of the terms that she used and how she answered the question, and I said, "Wow, really, really brilliant young lady." So yes, we're talking with her, but I'm not sure if the viewers are able to hear her. So please let me know. Okay. All right. So my second question to you, Tiara. Um, Tell us something about you, like your strength, like your greatest strength. Maybe in the area of school. What is your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is English language.
I'm hearing you a little. If you could speak a little louder, but the listeners are saying that they're having a feedback. So maybe there's like a cell phone or something else in your background that's on, that's giving a feedback. Okay, say that again for me. Your favorite subject?
Are you hearing better now?
I'm hearing you. It's very low though, so I'm wondering if Warren could turn that up a bit for me. Go ahead again, Tiara.
So my favorite subject in high school is English literature, English language.
Oh, you go, girl! I love literature. I really absolutely love English literature. You know, when I went to Holy Childhood, I tell you a joke. There's a book that we had to read for CXC. That book was called Test of the D'Urbervilles. And my friends used to laugh at me. They used to say, that's like around the book over you. Because I took a different position about life after reading that book, man. I took a total different position on life from reading that book. And funny enough, I watched a movie, was it last weekend? I think it's The Duel or something to that effect. And it reminded me so much of that book. But yes, um, I loved literature. I did well in literature. I got a distinction in literature in high school. Really loved that subject because it helps you to kind of tell me what you love the most about literature, and I tell you what I love about it.
Well, initially I made a mistake when I said literature. I love literature too, but my favorite subject is the English language.
Literature, you know, sister. You better go back to loving literature. Okay, tell me what you love about the English language.
Um, I think it helps us, it shapes us in a way so that we can be able to speak properly, be able to answer questions to the best
This is
of our
great.
vocabulary.
So I was so impressed. Drop a comment there if you saw the interview with this young lady. Drop a comment there and tell her what you think about her interview when you watched it, because she really shone. For me, she really shone in that interview. Now, let me tell you what I love about literature. Literature is a lot about perception. It's the way we see things and the way we interpret things, and it helps me to look at things deeper. And whereas some people would say something and others overlook it, because I did literature, I can hear exactly what's said and what's not said. And then you look deeper into things. And that's what literature, that's what it did for me. And that's what I absolutely love about it. All right, what's your biggest accomplishment? I know you just did CXC subjects and stuff. CXC exams, you want to tell us about that? Because I know you're entering sixth form. For some reason, I'm not hearing her again, Tiara. I'm not seeing or hearing you. I mean, you need to shift a little more. You kind of shift out of the camera. It's not that it was dark, but it's just that you shifted out of the camera. All right, in the meantime, if you're listening in, please give Tiara some encouragement. Tell her what you think about her interview. If you saw it, she spoke so well. And then I was listening to some of the terms that she was using, and I thought to myself, this girl is a reporter. Yes, Danendra, very eloquent young lady. And she did excellent reporting, excellent reporting. All right, Latoya Thomas is saying that she's hardly hearing me. And Danendra said, Tiara was very low. All right, technical person. Those are some of the comments we're getting. Could you please help us with all that? So I have a few more questions for Tiara here, but I'm waiting to, I'm not seeing her. All right. Okay, so our technical person here is saying that she got disconnected. As we know, there's a challenge with the internet in Jamaica for a lot of people. So we're trying to get her back. We're trying to get her back online. But until then, this is Tiara. Some of us we first learned of her or saw her recently with a very unfortunate situation where her sister was kidnapped. Thank God they found her back alive. Thank God she's alive and she is improving. So I saw her and she gave an account of the incident so brilliantly. She spoke so well and under pressure and in such a really difficult time and situation, she just really held up and she reported well. I can see her really loving English language and literature, and I can see her being a very good reporter. I don't know if that's what she wants to be, but if ever that is her dream job, it would be great if she got some internship in one of the radio stations or TV stations there. So I hope at least even the station that interviewed her will consider giving her some kind of internship, uh, summer job, Christmas job, or something there, so she will learn and she will continue to improve in that area. Very bold young lady. All right, we're still waiting and we don't see. It seems like if I'm interviewing people from Jamaica, I will have to have a backup plan. I will have to have a backup plan just in case. All right, I don't know. We're still trying to get her. I'm still making an attempt, but we should also be interviewing Mr. Warren Wint. He's our technical person. He's there. But until then, let me talk a little bit more about what happened today. I'm very, very excited about what happened today. Today was our pop-up food bank, and we did that in the community of Waterhouse, that's in Kingston. It was um, it was really, really a great day. It was it was very, very successful. We had 100 grocery bags that we distributed to families. She's having technical difficulty. She's still trying to connect again. Her internet, she's having issues. That's okay. I mean, that's beyond her control if we're not able to have her back. We thank God for the 2 minutes that we had with her, and I want the viewers to know that we're going to be taking care of her school fee for this school year, and that's what we're doing for a little brilliant Miss Tiara. Um, Tiara Cook. So please remember her family in your prayers. Please continue to pray for them. Please especially remember her little sister as she recovers in your prayer. That and also that God will not only heal her physically but emotionally. All right. So I was talking about the pop-up food bank, the pop-up food bank today where we had the distribution. I don't know if Mr. Wind has some of those videos or pictures from today to show our viewers, but I got a very good report that today went very well. So we distributed grocery bags only. One of the things that disappointed me is that I was told that so many people came afterwards, but the grocery was already done. Finished. The bags were finished. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to provide more grocery bags. And one of the ways we'll be able to do that is if we are able to purchase the goods at a more discounted price. So if we can find a wholesale that really sells at a good price, then we should be able to purchase more um, food to be able to distribute in these communities. The need is great. The need is great, and when we ask for help or we ask for donation, we do exactly what we say, or whatever we promise to do. That's exactly what we do. So somebody is saying that they're hearing me, but it's very low. All right, Mr. Win, do you have the video to show us from today, from the distribution earlier today? Okay. All right. So yes, it was fun. If you look on our Facebook page, please check out our Facebook page. If you go over to the Facebook page, you'll be able to see the videos. I uploaded two of them over there. I also uploaded some of the pictures. If you're a part of our WhatsApp broadcast list, you would have gotten both pictures and videos. And usually I start sending those out from the day that we're packing. So you would have gotten pictures and videos from yesterday when the volunteers were packing and packaging stuff for today and preparing for today. And also you would have gotten the videos from earlier today when they were doing the distribution. However, please check our Facebook page, Helping Hands JATV. That's our Facebook page, and you'll see some short videos from today. Later tonight, I will upload the videos to YouTube that we have from today's event. Amazing. If you're one of our sponsors, I say a big, big, big thank you to you. We truly appreciate it and know that we cannot do what we have been doing without you. And I like the way they did it, I like it. It's like it's packaged so nicely. I have to give a big shout out to Irene Barrett who works so tirelessly. She works so hard to make this happen, right? You see the rice there, the flour, so persons are able to walk around and notice that we're coming through the gate and they walk around, like a buffet style. and then they pick up stuff, pack their bags, and then out through the gate. Because of the COVID and the protocols that we're observing, of course, we can't have the crowd coming in, but we have to just do it in a timely fashion. Thanks very much for that video, Mr. Wint. And we have more videos if you're interested. You can look on our Helping Hands Facebook page. So I'm going to be talking to Mr. Wint now. I should have done that last week, but we were having some technical difficulties. We were looking at the topic of poverty, right? Hopefully in the future I can talk back to this little young lady because I really think I like her. And I know one and two persons I spoke to really liked her because they were very impressed with the interview. So, Mr. Wint, I can't speak to you if I'm not seeing you. I asked you that question last week and I'm going to ask it to you again. What does generational poverty mean? Because when you were talking about it last week, for some reason, the audience couldn't hear you. And I think you have some valuable thoughts on the subject. All right, let me say, Mr. Win, let me properly introduce him. He is, as you see, the technical person behind all of this, right? He sets up the videos and does all of that for the Helping Hands Ministry. So he is the owner of New Generation Technology. I hope I have that right. And he installs video cameras, which Jamaica need a lot of. It can help to curtail the crime, help us catch the thief, and the rapists and the murderers, and we know how important these videos or pictures are, these video images are. So that's what he does. So if at all you need videos installed in your office or your home, Mr. Wint is the man. He's also a musician at his church, and I heard him singing yesterday, and he has a lovely voice. All right, so now, Mr. Wint, could you just tell the audience a little about yourself in case I missed out anything? He's married and he has a lovely little daughter. I'm not sure what age. Okay, so Mr. Wint, go ahead. Tell us a little about yourself before you answer my question about generational poverty.
All right. Greetings, everybody. Greetings, everybody. So, yes, I am Mr. Wint, Warren Wint to be exact. Um, yeah, introduction was well done. I am the founder and owner of New Generation Technology. We are an emerging company that believes in quality for less. Um, so as we grow, we always look out for our clients. Um, the question regarding what was the question again? Something about poverty. What was that question again? Caron. What's the question again? Something about poverty. What was that question again? Caron. What is generational poverty? That's that's one that you need to look into. Um, well, thinking about it, of course, the term itself, generational poverty, speaks of moving from one generation to another. If another generation or the generation before was poverty stricken, then the generation that came after would follow suit or even worse. But generational poverty, it is a thing that is prominent all over the world, especially even so that the little time that I'm on earth, I have observed in the inner cities or what we call the ghettos. Um, I had the privilege of going to a school to do a motivational talk on the high school. Um, and what I realized when I spoke to these children, it's amazing their mindset that they have because of the community and the people that they grew up around. Um, some of them go to school even though they have the privilege of going to high school and getting a better education than their parents got. But because they have grown up to see their parents and their peers in the community that they are, then they have somewhat adapted or accepted a false truth, so to speak, for lack of a better word, that this is the life that was dealt to them, and no matter what they do, this is the life that they will have to live. So their mother came up or their father came up struggling and didn't have much, and by default or ultimately that's the life that they are going to have no matter what they do. And while speaking to them, I had to really talk to them and say, hey, listen, I grew up in an inner city, Green Pond. I grew up there and I saw kids that I grew up with came out to do even way better than I'm doing right now. And myself, included in that batch, did not choose to see the poverty of the inner city and say that I'm going to become what I have grown up to see. But I decided that no matter what, I'm going to come out better. So this is a motto that I have kind of grew up on. I saw my father, my mother go through the struggles of life and so forth, and they tried to make a better life for me. My thought on this whole generational poverty is that the person that you are now can break that chain. I believe that one can see where they are coming from, desire a different path, and move towards it. So my thought is this: I saw my mother, my father come up in a certain way. I must become better than them in my time, and then I must train my daughter to become better than I am, or whatever I go through, she must become better at the end of the day. So it's not set in stone. I believe that we can move forward from this so-called generational poverty.
Okay. Very good. Somebody saying they're not able to hear me, so I don't know if you could let me see the comment section so I can see what the listeners are saying. Um, yeah, I was reading something recently on Facebook, and I saw where somebody, and I spoke with her and asked her to do an interview with us, and she agreed. One of the things that she posted that really interested me was, as a person who works in the bank, one of the things she notices is that a lot of people in our community, especially like the African Americans, we do not add beneficiaries to our bank accounts, right? So whenever you have an account and you've not added a beneficiary, and then you should die, then if you have, whether it's siblings or close relatives or children or even a spouse, the challenge that they face to be able to get the funds that you left there is unbelievable. Okay, and in many cases some people are frustrated enough that they don't even bother to pursue after it. um, One of the things she was saying is like sometimes persons come to try to get it, even to do the funeral, and they're not able to get those funds in time because of all the up and down they have to be doing because they were not added as a beneficiary. And she was letting the community know that just taking a death certificate in was not enough for the bank to hand over the funds to you. Now, as you spoke of generational poverty, that is one of the ways that we can address it. That is really a sure way. Because why would you work so hard, so hard? And even though people don't, you're living and you're like, you don't expect to die. And I know, especially Caribbean people, I remember when I just came here and I was doing the insurance course, and one of the things that we laughed about is that if you try to sell, if you try to sell, the hardest sell you had was trying to sell Caribbean people life insurance. Because it's like they think by buying it, they're inviting death. But it's just one of the ways of preparing and making a way for your children after you. So God forbid something happens unexpectedly, they're not left worse off. And that is one of the ways that if we're trying to break generational poverty, like from generation to generation, we don't want to be handing debt to our children, but we want to make sure the house is paid off. If it's the car, it's paid off. Otherwise, they have all of these debts on them, and instead of getting better, they're worse off after a parent has passed. So yes, so I want to say that we're going to be interviewing her. She already accepted, but we do not want to not be adding beneficiaries to whether your insurance, whether your bank accounts, and all of that. You can give an order where it's paid upon death. What's in the bank when you die is paid upon death. I think they call that POD. So you can add them as POD to your account. So that is um, one of the ways we try to make sure that we don't be passing on poverty to our generation, and it keeps following them. All right, Mr. Wint, why is it important for us to have this conversation? Like talk about poverty, generational poverty, stuff like that. Why is this conversation even important?
All right. I believe it's important because, as I said just now, a lot of persons believe that, based on what they have grown up to see, a lot of persons believe that this is it, and there's no way to change it. I've often heard, this is funny, um, Babylon system set for we fail, and you know, you know, there's no hope for the ghetto youths them, and I have to just work with it, yeah, man, and just roll with it until my time to pass out of this earth and really. But the truth of the matter is, we have some folk words or folk sayings that I don't believe we have practiced it. Such as, we work. No man is an island, no man stands alone. And I've even this evening I was thinking about it. I believe that Jamaica is, well, the world, but I'm talking on Jamaica because I've lived in Jamaica all my life. I believe that we are poverty stricken, some of us, some of our communities, and some of us as individuals, because selfishness, one. As I said just a while ago, no man is an island, no man stands alone. We have been taught this in school. I was taught this in primary school. And if you look at it, and I think about it a lot, is that persons seem to always want to get everything by themselves, do everything by themselves. But when you look at the other nations, the Chinaman, perfect example, they pull together and they get things done together. And right now, they are hauling in wealth. I have recently become a lover of history, and I've looked into World War II and seen when Japan invaded China in World War II. I mean, they were deprived; their temples were deprived of everything, all the goals, everything was taken out of there. And pretty much China was the underdog of the world. At the time, Jamaica was under the British rule, so we were wealthy, or her money was up there. But fast forward, look at us now versus China. I mean, why is Jamaica so poverty stricken? Why are our people having that mentality that this is what we were dealt and this is what we are going to go with? Um, and I believe because of that, and the younger generation growing up to see that, they don't really know what Jamaica was back then. Then they have garnered this type of mentality, and I believe that it's very important that we speak about this, especially the elders, those that have really experienced Jamaica from those time, or know the history of Jamaica, where we are coming from, and what we used to do, and what we used to be accomplished, or what we used to accomplish rather. So when we talk about these things and we let the younger generation hear these things, we can actually empower them with knowledge, because wealth comes with knowledge, and it's very important. People don't really look into these things. Knowledge is a wealth that is beyond money. If you have the knowledge, the wealth will follow. That's my belief. And we don't have the knowledge. The younger generation, I had to seek this out myself. I didn't know these things, and I had to seek this out. My auntie told me the other day that, hey, Warren, in order for you to understand how to move forward in wealth, talk to an old somebody. Talk to an old man, an old grandfather, an old grandmother. Talk to them. Listen how Jamaica was at the pinnacle of wealth, and then you can look at where you are today and understand wealth. And
Wow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, all right. I really love what you say. I really, really take what you say. And I hope that, whoever is listening will take that. You're correct in saying that it has a lot to do with our attitude towards each other, you know. And being here, I see that. I've witnessed that, you know. I've witnessed that myself. You have different nations, and you're able, and I love to observe cultures because you learn so much from different cultures. You really do learn a lot. I remember, um, because I take care of senior citizens here, that's my job, and I've always looked at it in a sense that I am there to learn. I am there to work, but I'm also there to learn, as you spoke about talking to older people. And I'm telling you, I have been blessed to work with some persons who were not afraid to tell me how they made wealth, how they invested. Because one of the things we tend to save our money, but persons who tend to get rich, they do not save as much as they invest. And that's one of the things that we need to start practicing more. Another thing is that they tend to work and they really try to invest a lot in the next generation. They really try. It's a big thing for them. What am I leaving for my children? And if we live with that kind of mentality, then the generation after us will always be better. It's always what am I leaving for my children? And I can tell you some of the two races I see very strong on that. I see the Jewish and the Arabs. They're very strong about generational wealth and what they pass on to their children. As I said, the Chinese, when you see them, they work together. If one person gets an opportunity, they bring in the entire family in on it. Uncle, cousin, nephew, niece, granny, everybody gets in on that opportunity. I think we as a people, we tend to try to exclude others. So if I have a job, I want to feel better than you, Warren, and I bring you for my job. I'm not taking you on my job. And I noticed that among, like our people, we don't tend to share opportunities or information. Um, because I remember earlier this year our church had a theme, and the theme is there is enough for all of us. So guess what? There is enough for all of us. I was working with a Jewish couple once, and the man went to the bank and found the bank was, once you open an account, you were getting certain amount of monies and whatever else opportunity they had. And can I tell you, I was working with his wife, and I watched him for that day. He stayed home and he called everybody and them granny to tell them what was happening at the bank. And that was like so refreshing for me to see, because I really don't see that happening, among our people a lot. He just shared the information so everybody could get in on it. I think if we start being like that with each other more, we will start experiencing more success and more wealth. If you reach somewhere, if you reach on the mountaintop, try to take somebody else with you. Try to be there for someone else. That is important. And that is how, even among our people, we will break generational poverty, and we will be stronger and wealthier together as a people, as a nation. Um, you know what was my experience this week, Warren? Buying the goods for helping hands. People make arrangements and they tell you, because we not only buy, or we buy stuff from the wholesale, and then we try to get stuff from the market. And they'll give you a price. And then they hear that you're trying to buy a certain amount and it sounds like a whole lot. They try to change the price on you immediately. They try to change the arrangement immediately. And why are you trying to get rich in one sale? The Chinaman, what the saying with the Chinaman is like they believe in small profit, large gains. So I'm not going to try to be rich off you, Warren, from you just shopping with me one time. So it's like we had to be just changing some of the things that we decided to buy, because some of the vendors just changed the arrangement at the last minute. It's like, how much for a mango? The mango is $2. Sell me 100 mango. No, the mango is now $3 because so and so and so and so. And that is what we deal with it. And it's very unfortunate, because I'm like, okay, if I'm buying 100 mango, how about giving me a discount for spending so much with you, as opposed to think that you need to raise the price because I'm going to buy this much. So these are some of the things that is keeping us in poverty. It has a lot to do with our attitude and our mindset and the way we work with each other. All right. So Warren, if you were the prime minister, what are some of the things you would do to address poverty? Because it's important. It's an important conversation. How would you address poverty if you're in a Montego Bay? Say
That's a big one there for me to be the prime minister. Wow. All right, if I was the prime minister to sort poverty out. All right. Firstly, um, there are different business models that other countries use, and I've now started to realize this in my older years. Yes. Um, I realize that especially China. I like using China because they have really achieved a lot. If you look all over the world, they send out people. I don't know what programs they have, but if you go in America, you have Chinatown. If you go in um, Canada, you have Chinese restaurants, Chinese shops all over. You go in Montego Bay, Kingston, all over Jamaica, there's a supermarket that is owned by a Chinese, probably in every parish. And all this wealth goes back to China. I think about 2 to 3 years ago, I saw on the news where China was actually creating a man-made island for military purpose. Where did China get all this wealth from? It's from other countries when they send out their people. So these programs that these other countries have developed to be able to send out their people to gain wealth, and not just for themselves, but to also build the country. I was in a line at a particular bank, and I saw this Chinese man in a short pants, an elder Chinese man in a short pants and and flip flop slippers and a cardboard box. I was looking at the China man like, oh, this is elder, yeah, this look, and look at we, it's back and kind everybody dress up. When it was his turn to go to the to the teller, he put the box on the counter. He started to take out piles of US dollars. And I'm not talking like $1. I'm talking of piles like 20s and 50s and hundreds. And I'm talking about stacks of money all in US dollars. And I look at it and I'm like, I started to realize something like, okay, when we need to change US, we go to the China man, they save it, they put it in their bank account, that goes back to their country, they get rich, their country get rich, and ultimately, China is now where it's at. They are one of the world power. They're one of the world power. I mean, like, come on, from the underdogs in World War II to now a world power, super world power that can be almost rival to United States or Russia. Come on, it's simple principle, try to get money from multiple sources. So if I was a government, I would probably adopt one of that. A lot of Jamaicans are in all manner of parts of the world. So why not take advantage of that, create businesses all over the world and have money coming back into Jamaica? I believe this would bring prosperity to the people and also to the country. Um, Believe me, I think it will work.
Hmm. I agree with it. In a sense, I do believe a lot of Jamaicans who are abroad would love to invest back in their country. Uh, a lot of people overseas, which is why what's it now? Remittance brings a lot of money to the country. It's just like you say, the Chinese who are in other countries, they send back to their country. That happens with most people who travel overseas. They tend to send back a lot of money to their country, to family and whatever. They want to also invest back in the country. But I think one of the things with us in Jamaica, we have to work on making it safer for people who want to come back and work, come back and live. That's one area. Two is if you would like to do a business there, sometimes the paperwork and the red tape is ridiculous. It really discourages persons from um, setting up business there with like all that you have to go through. I mean, even just opening a simple bank account, come on, it's like all of this paperwork is like to discourage you from doing that. And all of that is ridiculous. So it is something I think we have to work on and make it easier for persons who would like to come back and to invest in the country, to work and create jobs for the people there. Another thing in terms of China, I think when because their labor is so cheap and the companies here got large incentives to build or to work overseas, and most of them were moving out of the United States. Their warehouses and their manufacturing plants like Apple and some of the larger um, companies. A lot of them went into China because labor was so cheap, and that is one of the things that brought China to the top economically over the last what probably 12 years. So, in addition to them having people who travel out to other countries and be pouring back money into China, they also had the incentive of many companies who left the US to go there and to set up their warehouses and manufacturing plants. All right, so very good points you made, Mr. Wint. Um, all right, so I think my last question for this segment on poverty is where do you think poverty is more common? Where do you see it more common and why? That could be the regions, whether, Caribbean, African nations, or you can just narrow that answer down to Jamaica. Why is it common in the areas that you see it? Why is the poverty there common?
All right. So, why is poverty common here in Jamaica, or excuse me, um, holistically in the world? Selfishness. That's one. And I believe that I believe that if we start to share more, assist more, and move forward more together, we'll accomplish more. Um, Whereas one person tries to make $1 million, if two come together trying to make that $1 million, more or less, you would make up to $3 million, because of course you have more workman or more work power. You have two minds that are going at it. Um, and this can be applied to any nation, can be applied to any people. Um, but in Jamaica, it's kind of somewhat difficult because you know you have persons fighting against each other. Seeing where even friends that grew up from a tender age, more so in scamming because of money, then he wants to kill him, and all that foolishness. Um, but if persons decide to work together, I believe poverty can go to at least 10 to 5% down, and persons will be able to strive more together rather than apart. Less fighting. I mean, if I'm fighting you to keep you down, and that's more energy me trying to put into keeping you down. What if we put that energy in trying to lift each other up? I think we'll reach further, rather than using that energy to fight each other down and try to keep each other down. So poverty is one, again, because of selfishness, gluttonous, and each other. We are fighting each other down. But once we start moving forward together, see where we're at, not be gluttonous or greedy, kind of like your tagline, helping the needy, not greedy. Too much greediness. So once we move away from that, then I believe it is a step forward to moving away from poverty.
I agree with you on that. I really do. I think we need to learn to work together more. That is so important. Partnership is a big thing. You are able to achieve so much more. Somebody would say half a loaf is better than no loaf. Some people like, I don't want to partner with you because I want to get the whole bread. But if you don't work with somebody, you might get no bread at all. Whereas if you come together, put heads together, hands together, and hearts together, you'll have a whole bread, and you can share that bread in two or in three, however you decided to partner. So it is something that we have to really work on as a people, working together more and not pulling each other down. And another thing I would add to that is learning to take advice from those who have been there, done that. Find persons who are successful in areas that you're interested, and pick conversations with them and learn from them, as opposed to we tend to want to we're not don't be at war with people who are successful. Don't be at war with people who've succeeded. Find out how they did it and try to pattern, try to learn something from them. And that is really, really crucial. I tell you, when you start putting your mind and your focus in the right place, you will be surprised to see the changes that can be made in your life in very, very short in very, very short time. I keep saying to people, this year early I was praying, and I really was praying Deuteronomy 8, and I said, Lord, according to your scripture, teach my hands to make wealth. And it was really just the core of my prayer for January. Because, each year we have that 21-day fast in church. And, you know, I was just reading and somehow I came across some groups and they teach finance. I joined those groups. So you can't say you want not to, you want the cycle of poverty to break from over your life. But what are you doing? What are you doing to break the cycle? Join some finance class, some conferences that might be free. There are lots of groups on Facebook that can teach you so many things. And I jumped off of Facebook because I realized I was just reading and laughing every day and it was not making my life any better. I was just reading people post and just getting jokes. And I saw an article that was talking about how persons were investing in these coins and crypto and stocks, and they made so much money in a short space of time. I jumped off, I logged off of Facebook. I just shut down my page for months. And I went into studying. I went into really studying these things on the stocks and the coins and the cryptos. And I was reading a lot. And I was joining a lot of groups on Reddit because the article had mentioned Reddit. And I learned so much. I was able to improve myself a lot in these areas because of the things I read and because of where I decided I was going to put my focus. So be open to learn and know that you do not know everything. And when you start finding yourself in the areas that teach you on the things that you know in the areas that you are weak, budgeting might be an area that you are weak. Find groups that teach on budgeting where can get financial advice for free and start applying them. So those are some of the things that you can do if you are serious about breaking the cycle of poverty in your life. All right, Warren, if you had a final thought that you would like to leave with the listeners about breaking the cycle of poverty, what would that thought be?
Breaking the cycle of poverty, especially, all right, I'm going to speak to especially the men. Um, Men, be a mentor. Be a mentor to younger men. I mean, we have taught, our society have taught men to be tough and to hide our emotions and hide our feelings, hide what we are going through and all of that. And I think it's kind of, I don't want to use too much of a strong word, but it's time for us to mentor these younger generation, especially these younger men, so they can open up and speak to you. They might put on a show, but inwardly they need somebody to guide them. Even a spiritual guide or a physical guide, they need somebody to nurture them and to bring them in. Some of these young men that are growing up in societies without a father or so forth, you can, the elderly or the older men can be a mentor to these younger men. I'm thankful I had mentors that could sit down and talk to me. I had mentors that didn't even talk to me, but through their action, I was able to see what a man is supposed to be and what a successful man is supposed to do. So these are things that I learned from not just hearing, but actually looking and seeing what a successful man can be and adapting that principle physically and not listening to the negativity of you won't succeed, you'll come out just like so and so, you're not going to come to nothing. I mean, you hear all these things all the time, and the words are so powerful, but I have to give God thanks that I did not incline to those words and accept them, but I have a determination that I will succeed. I will be successful. So be a mentor to younger men. Not saying that you shouldn't be a mentor to younger women, but I believe that men nowadays need to learn these things so that they can grow up to be successful, responsible young men. So be a mentor and teach. Teach. I mean, don't give up. Don't give up. I am a testament. I'm a testimony. Don't give up. I mean, I was a young man. I was a teenager once, and had it not been for a woman called Miss Sherilyn Wint, I give God thanks for my father as well, but more so even my mother. I mean, she really, 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 really stuck it out with me, and she never gave up. She was stern. She said it to me in my final days of high school. She said, "Listen, I will give you the opportunity. I'm going to give you the opportunity. Now you decide what you're going to do with it." When she said that to me, it struck something in my heart, and I got wisdom from just that statement. I realized that this is an opportunity of a lifetime that has been given to me, and I should take the best I can. And I give God thanks for that woman there. So be a mentor. Never give up on these young people, no matter how rebellious they might seem. I mean, there is a light that they need to reach out to, and that light could be you. So, just never give up and continue reaching out to them.
Okay. I like that. I mean, you're saying not that you're not supposed to be a mentor to women, but in all truth, in the last few years, there's so much programs for women. A lot of programs are geared toward women. Conferences, seminars. We have so much geared to women. We talk about grants and all that. A lot is geared to women and developing women, all around the world. Even a lot of the government grants are for women. But we need to have some focus for our young boys. We really do need to have focus, which is why a lot of them get carried away and drawn into the gangs because there's not enough. We don't have enough seminars for boys and conferences, free seminars that they can go to and find men who will truly mentor them and guide them and teach them how to develop themselves and be that source of motivation. But we find a lot um, for women and young girls. So thanks for that point. I hope our listeners learned something from the conversation. I hope there was something that spoke to you this evening. Thanks again for your time, Mr. Wynn. Thanks for sharing with our viewers. I appreciate you being here. And for those who might not see it this evening, but will be watching the video in the future, we just want to thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. Also, like the video and share with someone who you think will benefit from hearing what Mr. Wind had to say to us today. And again, I am sorry for what happened with Tiara earlier. She got disconnected. However, we will be taking care of her school fee as we decided we really wanted to do something for her because we were very, very impressed um, with Tiara's interview. We will do a rebroadcast of the interview with Tiara. Um, we will try to figure out something with the internet because we know the internet is unstable in a lot of places for persons in Jamaica. And we really want to be setting up more interviews, but we have to work through the challenges of the internet in the different areas. Thanks again. Do have a wonderful night. And please follow our Facebook page to know when we're doing the next pop-up food bank, November 24th. Also, join me here every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. in Jamaica. It's 8:30 p.m. here in Florida. Have a wonderful night.